हेलो स्टूडेंट्स, आज पोल साइंस ऑप्शनल की पहली क्लास में लेने जा रहा हूँ और ये 12 बजे होती रहेगी। पोल साइंस ऑप्शनल पेपर फर्स्ट की ये क्लास है। ठीक है, इस क्लास को हम कंटिन्यू रखेंगे। इसमें आप एवरीडे 12 बजे ऑनलाइन ऑफलाइन दोनों ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं। तो पोल साइंस में हम कैसे इसकी स्टडी करें और क्या पढ़ें, अकॉर्डिंग टू सिलेबस हम इसकी स्टडी करेंगे कि सिलेबस के अकॉर्डिंग हमें क्या पढ़ना चाहिए और कैसे पढ़ना चाहिए और क्या क्या इसमें हमारी जरूरी चीजें हैं वो पढ़ना चाहिए। तो इसमें हमने अपना एक नोट्स बनाया हुआ है जिसमें पोल साइंस को हम क्लियर करेंगे। पोल साइंस का जो हमारा पहली यूनिट है, यूनिट नंबर फर्स्ट। इसमें दिया गया है यूनिट नंबर फर्स्ट में पॉलिटिकल थ्योरी मीनिंग एंड अप्रोच। इसमें हमारा पॉलिटिकल थ्योरी मीनिंग एंड अप्रोच ये आएगा, मीनिंग एंड अप्रोच। अब मीनिंग एंड अप्रोच में क्या हो सकता है, तो इसमें कुछ कंटेंट ऐसे होते हैं जो बहुत ही मेजर कंटेंट है। देखिए, पोल साइंस वेरी इजी, वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग और यूपीएससी मैक्सिमम मार्क्स ओरिएंटेड सब्जेक्ट। जीएस मैक्सिमम पोर्शंस कवर इन द पोल साइंस एग्जाम। इसी से सारी चीजें कवर होती हैं। तो इसमें हम मेन कंटेंट से अगर इसकी पढ़ाई करें तो पहला आता है फर्स्ट, व्हाट इज फर्स्ट आएगा व्हाट इज पॉलिटिकल थ्योरी। व्हाट इज पॉलिटिकल थ्योरी, याद है। दूसरा क्या आएगा, सेकंड में पढ़ेंगे व्हाट इज थ्योरी। सेकंड क्वेश्चन आएगा व्हाट इज थ्योरी, व्हाट इज थ्योरी। थर्ड कंटेंट क्या हमें पढ़ना होगा, पॉलिटिकल थ्योरी इम्प्लीकेशंस। फिर आएगा पॉलिटिकल थ्योरी इम्प्लीकेशंस। आप पॉलिटिकल थ्योरी। फोर्थ क्या होगा, पॉलिटिकल थ्योरी कंटेंट। ये हमारे 4 पोर्शन होंगे जिन पर हमें मेन फोकस करना है। 4 पोर्शन पे मेन हमें फोकस करना होगा और इसके अकॉर्डिंग इसको आगे हमें बढ़ाना होगा कि कहाँ पर क्या और कैसे किस तरह से इसको हम आगे करें। तो ये पॉलिटिकल थ्योरी के बारे में हो गया, इसके मेन कंटेंट के बारे में हो गया। अब पोल साइंस है क्या, पॉलिटिकल थ्योरी नॉट ओनली ए थ्योरी अबाउट पॉलिटिक्स। तो थ्योरी पहले क्या है ये हमें जानना होगा। थ्योरी इज ए फिजिक्स, थ्योरी इज केमिस्ट्री, थ्योरी इज बायोलॉजी, बट यहाँ पर आ जाता है पॉलिटिकल थ्योरी। तो पॉलिटिकल थ्योरी इज ए थ्योरी प्लस थॉट। यहाँ पे दोनों चीजें हैं, थॉट भी है और थ्योरी भी है। अब अगर थॉट एंड थ्योरी है तो इसका मेन जो फिगर होगा वो क्या होगा। तो इसमें थ्योरी के बारे में अगर हम बात करें तो थ्योरी साइंस होती है, जहाँ प्रिंसिपल्स आते हैं, बट थॉट तो प्रिंसिपल नहीं है, वो तो फिलॉसफी एंड हिस्ट्री है थॉट। तो पोल साइंस के कई फैक्टर्स पर हम ध्यान दें तो कलेक्शंस ऑफ पॉलिटिकल साइंस, इस पर क्या क्या आएगा और इसके एरिया क्या क्या होंगे। तो पहला होता है द एरिया इज पॉलिटिकल थ्योरी वर्क एक्सटेंड टू रिलम पॉलिटिक्स, पॉलिटिकल लाइफ, सिटीजन, पॉलिटिकल बिहेवियर। ये सब इसके पार्ट होंगे, पॉलिटिकल सिटीजन, पॉलिटिकल बिहेवियर। इज पॉलिटिकल आइडिया गवर्नमेंट दैट द एस्टैब्लिश एंड टॉक्स फ्रॉम द गवर्नमेंट। यहाँ पे पॉलिटिकल थ्योरी में गवर्नमेंट बनाने के आइडिया आएंगे, गवर्नमेंट कैसे आगे एस्टेब्लिश किया जाए, गवर्नमेंट कैसे आगे डेवलप किया जाए। दिस इज द थॉट ऑफ पॉलिटिकल आइडिया। पॉलिटिकल आइडिया ये इसका थॉट होगा। नंबर 2, पॉलिटिकल थ्योरी अडॉप्टेड इंक्लूड डिस्क्रिप्शन, एक्सप्लेनेशन, इन्वेस्टिगेशन in political phenomena. This is the part of political theory. Third, political theory is all about what is political. Attempt to understand. Political is relation, social, economical, psychological, and psychological, ecological, moral, and like. This is the part of political theory. ये सब इसका part होगा. This is the part of political theory. The objective is political theory seek to achieve build, goal state, good society, and the process, great process, procedure, institution, structure, historically tested and rationally attained is the part of political theory. ये सब इसका एक पार्ट होंगे, पॉलिटिकल थ्योरी के पार्ट हो जाएंगे. रूल एंड ह्यूमन कंडक्ट. पॉलिटिकल थ्योरी बोथ प्रेस्क्रिप्टिव एंड एक्सप्लेनेटरी. पॉलिटिकल थ्योरी जो है प्रेस्क्रिप्टिव भी है, एक्सप्लेनेटरी भी है, तो इसका बड़ा लार्ज लेवल पर एक्सप्लेन किया जा सकता है. नेक्स्ट, द कंसेप्ट ऑफ पॉलिटिकल थ्योरी इंक्लूड अंडरस्टैंडिंग. यहाँ पे अंडरस्टैंडिंग की बात होती है कि हम कैसे और किस तरह से आगे डेवलप कर सकते हैं, क्या क्या हमारे गोल और अंडरस्टैंडिंग हो सकते हैं. व्हाट इज द रियली ऑफ पॉलिटिकल लिंक. पॉलिटिकल विद व्हाट नॉन पॉलिटिकल. यहाँ पे पॉलिटिकल चीजें भी जुड़ेंगी और नॉन पॉलिटिकल भी. पॉलिटिकल भी इसका पार्ट हो जाएगा, नॉन पॉलिटिकल भी इसका पार्ट होगा. इंटीग्रेट कोऑर्डिनेट रिजल्ट numerous social sentences knowing nature, scope, limited to what constitute, but what extent, periphery to beyond. This is the part of political theory. This is the part of political theory. Suggesting that the task defining political is the continual one. Sheldon कहता है कि politics and vision 1960 में इसकी बुक है, including following the content of political theory is ये form of activity concerning around the quest of competitive advantage between group, individual, and societies in the part of political theory. Second, ये form of activity considered by the fact that is occurs within a situation of change and relative scarcity. Relative scarcity. Next, ये form of activity involves the pursuit of advantage produce consequences such magnitude and theory effect is significant. Why? The whole society substantial portion is the part of political theory. तो political theory का ये सारा क्राइटेरिया था जो हमने आपको क्लियर किया. अब अगर हम इस पे और आगे आते हैं कि पॉलिटिकल थ्योरी में और क्या क्या होता है, पॉलिटिकल थ्योरी किस किस का पार्ट होती है. तो पॉलिटिकल थ्योरी फर्स्टली हिस्ट्री. पॉलिटिकल थ्योरी 40% is a history. Political theory in the 40% history and 40% philosophy and 20% science. Science is the political theory. As a history and political theory, to know the political reality, to know the nature, political theory is set to political thought, and that's why there are some who describe political theory as denoting the work of numerous thinkers, but is not what political thought. There are others who equate political theory with the political philosophy. It is true the political theory constitutes the political philosophy, but it is only the part of, can never the whole, as the part of remains only a part of other whole. There is still other incorporating science in the politics, prefer to call it political science, but those who insist in the science of politics refuse to admit if their giver had been a history, politics, or a culture of politics. Bridget therefore would say political philosophy, political theory, and political science are no longer interchangeable terms with the emphasis placed on science and discipline. Political philosophy, political science now refer to the effort of limited by use of science method in construct the political philosophy which is free to transcend its limit. Likewise, political theory when opposed to political philosophy now in usually mean to refer scientific theory, only distinction from political philosophy. Any refers speculative thesis proposed to political philosophy can be the part of scientific political theory only as working hypothesis, anxiety, and authority. The scientific it, not it, and piece of scientific knowledge. Political theory is not all of history, but if the history is limited sense, it is not all philosophy, but if the philosophy is some degree. It is not all science, but if the science, in so far it responds to reason. A political theorist has to be the part of historian, a part of philosopher, and a part of scientist. Political theory as a history. Political theory as a history. Political theory is history is the sense that it seeks to understand the time, the place, circumstances in which it evaluates. It is ignored its historical context, it loses its strength, its focus, and its message. Any political theory has to have fact as the basis, a factual historical factor, as Sabine would say, circumstances in which it develops, the casual factor as Sabine, the casual factor as Sabine, casual factor as Sabine. क्लास में हूँ बाद में Sabine and it message political theory is not merely or only history, merely not only in history and has worked in the past. It is the science insofar as it is not understood in isolation, and also a philosophy insofar as it motivates. This is the concept of political history. Political theory as a philosophy. Political theory is a philosophy, for it is not only said to know the nature of things, but also attempt to explain as to why things really exist. One understand an action or a thought only by evaluating it. Evaluation is a part of understanding. Philosophy as a distinct from theory is a quest or wisdom, or as stresses hold the view. Quest for universal knowledge, for knowledge of the whole. Political theory as a philosophy is the attempt truly to know both the nature of political things and the right or good political order good political order. Politics is not what one assumes or opinions. In fact, a political theorist is expected to process more than assumption or a opinion. He has to have knowledge. Philosophy emerges when opinion. Assumption attains the height of knowledge, and that was exactly the tops of political theory. Political theory, as a philosophy, is attempt to replace opinion, assumption about the nature of political things by knowledge of nature of political things stresses. Next, political theory as a science. Theory as a limit of social science in context the rule of game that the object of science, not the change with time. The law of physics, instance, can be assumed pertinent to all situations at the time, past, present, and future. But this is not true the social science. The nature of economic and political is only has said different after Keynes and Marx in the fight that the physical and the natural is not neutral. Instead, it must remember that social stress, unlike natural stress, do not exist independently of the activities they govern. Social structure, unlike the natural structure, do not exist independently of the agent conception of what they are doing in their activity. Social structure, unlike natural structure, may be only relatively enduring. The limit of naturalism is when the social science are the different from natural science. The limit of political theory are worked out within the ethics of political analysis. ये दिस इज द पार्ट। अब आते हैं पॉलिटिकल ग्रोथ क्या है। पॉलिटिकल ग्रोथ तो यहाँ पे एक स्ट्रक्चर हम आपको पूरा बताते हैं कि क्या है। फर्स्ट तो हो गया एक पॉलिटिकल पॉलिटिकल थ्योरी, नेचर नेचर एंड स्पोर्ट, नेचर एंड स्पोर्ट नंबर एक, हिस्ट्री नंबर टू, फिलासफी फिलासफी नंबर टू, नंबर थ्री साइंस। तो ये इसके नेचर हो गए, नेचर का बात हो गई। नेचर के बारे में मैंने आपसे डिस्कस कर लिया और उसको लेक्चर्स के बारे में बता दिया। तो नेचर इज द कंप्लीट इन द पॉलिटिकल साइंस। अब नेचर कंप्लीट हुआ तो आ गया इवोल्यूशन, ग्रोथ एंड इवोल्यूशन ऑफ पॉलिटिकल। अब आते हैं नेक्स्ट टॉपिक पे, ग्रोथ एंड इवोल्यूशन ऑफ पॉलिटिकल साइंस। ग्रोथ इवोल्यूशन पॉलिटिकल थ्योरी। पहला होगा क्लासिकल पॉलिटिकल थ्योरी। नंबर दूसरा होगा मॉडर्न पॉलिटिकल थ्योरी। सेकंड, थर्ड नंबर आएगा कंटेम्परेरी पॉलिटिकल थ्योरी। तो इसका एक थर्ड पार्ट हुआ। अब क्लासिकल पॉलिटिकल थ्योरी क्या है। क्लासिकल पॉलिटिकल थ्योरी ग्रोथ एंड इवोल्यूशन के पहले बात कर लेते हैं। The growth and evolution political theory can be elaborated in three major: classical political theory, modern political theory, contemporary political theory. The classification of political theory into classical, modern, contemporary, immediate, thematic, what divided classical or traditional from the modern is the element of science. In the latter, in the absence of formal philosophy, dominate classical tradition of political theory, whereas science methodology dominate the modernist. As an exception, there may be Aristotle and the Thomas in ancient and the medieval period of the West, who might have emphasized the science element while discovering the law of public life, and there may be a stress in our time who might see the utility of philosophy, the study of politics, likewise, modern political theory and a contemporary political theory are somewhat different, at least in their essence. Modern political theory is empirical, scientific, whereas contemporary political theory is classical and historical. Contemporary political theory attempts to synthesize the essence of both classical, modern, and political theory. This is the classical political theory. Classical political emerged emerged in the ancient Greek culture, in the writing of Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, and continuous until the beginning of 19th century. The classical paradigm, according to Sheldon Olin, relating to political theory consists of following. First, classical political theory aim at acquiring reliable knowledge about matter concerning the people. Classical pursuit to establish a rational basis for belief. Politically inspired pursuit to establish a rational basis of action. Second, it sought to identify the political with public and common. The Greek polis, Roman as publica, and the Medieval Age used of common will all denote a sharing of what was common among the people as partners. Its basic unit of analysis was always the political goal the body of politics, the interrelated structure denoting activity, relationship, and belief, activity relating to ruling, welfare, education, religious practices, relationship involving those between social classes, between the ruler and the ruled, between the superior and the inferior, beliefs such as justice, equality, natural law, and the life. Relating itself to the political whole, the classical political theory laid emphasis on order, balance, equilibrium, stability, and harmony. That is why it is the process, habit and term, such as conflict, anarchy, instability, and revolutions. Classical political theory laid stress on comparative studies path, supplying a more comprehensive explanation of political phenomena and wider range of alternatives. That was the reason that classical political theory developed a classification of political form, monarchy, aristocracy, democracy, and set of concepts such as law, citizen, justice, participation, so as to explain differentiate similarities between them. Classical political theory had been largely ethical in perspective. It responds to rooted in moral outlook. Plato allocated the idea state Aristotle state that achieved the best possible. Saint Augustine, the city of God. Classical political theory undertook to appraise the various constitutional terms, determine the form of most suitable for the particular set circumstances, and to decide with any absolutely the best from possible. Classical political theory, by projecting the best form of quality as the ideal, revealed the boldness and the radicalism classical theories through some dismiss such as attempt as merely utopian and visionary. Modern political theory, beginning with liberal stance from 15th to 16th century, and later expressing itself in the institutional, positive empirical behavior, post behavior, dubbed the whole classical, due to marriage, A to Dahel, Caswell, Stern, start to stress the present other past, living than dull, eliminate further remote, objective than subjective, analytical than plastic, rather than purpose are oriented. The part of classical political theory, कल कितने टाइम पास आज तो डिस्टर्ब हो रहा है अगल बगल में